Welcome back to Season 1, Episode 2 of Luxury Lounge. Episode was getting introduction onto the channel and what the channel was going to be really about. Now you're going to get introduction onto Alexis Lorelai. For me to meet her, it's kind of disgusting. I love wearing heels. I feel like my life's going to change in the near future. Welcome to Luxury Lounge. I'm your host, Alexis Lorelai, and this is Season 1, Episode 2. Last episode, in episode 1, if you haven't gone and checked that out, make sure you do. But that was basically the intro to this channel. And at the end of that video, I basically said that I will have 3 goals for the upcoming week. Now, if you notice, that video was posted like 2 weeks ago, a couple weeks ago. So hopefully this week I can get up 2 episodes, one on a Monday and the other on Friday or Saturday. I was busy last week. We were coming to the end of basketball season, so we're getting our last minute games, last minute practices, last minute, all that stuff. And then also school and things like that is also getting really busy. But one of the big goals was I wanted to post a video once a week or once a day for that week. And I did really good with that. I actually really did post a video once a week, or once a day for every single platform. I was really excited and happy about that I did that. And that's just a really big goal of mine, just to stay consistent. And just also throughout this week, I've also learned better editing style. So hopefully then that also can like help level up my content as well, because I do feel like my editing is just so bland, because I'm also just, I kind of do it at the end of the day and I'm also really tired. So that's like one thing. Another thing was to clean. I did really good with that. I did start cleaning one area of my room, which will not be up on my Instagram for another couple weeks because I have so much things pre-filmed. And I do think that that cracked the code on just getting things up, was just pre-filming things, just having things pre-filmed, pre-done, pre-ready. So that is really good that I did that and actually really put into that effort. Also on my Instagram, so we should go to my main Instagram. I'm also trying to get to 300 followers for my birthday, March 23rd, so I can buy myself the XO Khloe Kardashian perfume. I have the Always and Forever, and I really like that one. But I would like her other one. So there's that. Another thing was, again, to keep my room clean and just keep everything clean. I did really good with that. I do keep things, actually, I did really good with keeping it clean. I did make another big mess by cleaning the area that I deep cleaned. So hopefully this week I can start, really just truly cleaning, just truly getting, better at all that stuff. That's just like one of my big things, is also just to keep areas clean, because I don't know if I'm the only one, but anytime I have a clean area or I clean something or just like something's clean, I feel like I'm a billionaire and I feel like I made it. So hopefully that will be there. Another one was not to have any sodas or energy drinks. I was really good in the sodas, really bad on the energy drinks, and I really need to stop drinking. Okay, here's the thing. I need to start having energy drinks back in moderation like I was in the beginning of me drinking them. I would basically have one every 6 months. And the reason why I'm having so much more frequently now is because I am driving myself places and I can go get a drink from 7-Eleven, an energy drink from 7-Eleven. I drink Alani's, which I also hear those are the worst of the energy drinks to drink. But I love Alani's. They're like, their flavor's good. And it's not to cut it out entirely, just have one maybe once a month, once every 2 months or something like that, just to get back into that nice little habit of things, because it's just so bad on how things just are and whatever. But that was it. Again, sodas I've been doing really well on. It was actually for a very long time, I was having a soda every single day and multiple times a day too. Multiple sodas every single day, and they were like the big gulp sodas, and I'm just trying to stop that because it was really bad habit. I didn't really feel good. I didn't have anything else. And also for my period cramps, I normally don't like talk about this stuff, but my period cramps have died down in pain, so I really like that. I notice when I drink sodas or energy drink or sodas, that's like when they do, because it's like very carbonated and stuff like that. But anyway, we did do some sort of good on our goals. So like I said, every single podcast at the end of the episode, so stay tuned for my goals for this next upcoming week. But I will make 3 goals that I will hope to complete and do for that entire week, and then the beginning of next episode we'll talk and revisit them and see what I did well on. last episode was getting an introduction onto the channel and what the channel was going to be really about. Now you're going to get an introduction onto Alexis Lorelai. So that is me, Alexis Lorelai, and I will tell you guys some fun facts about me, just kind of for you guys to really get to know me. This episode was getting an introduction on the podcast and what the podcast was going to be about. Now it's going to be about me, Alexis Lorelai. You guys get to know me. So, hi, I'm Alexis Lorelai, aka Cheer Nerd. Yes, on here I have a YouTube channel called Cheer Nerd. I do hope one day to change that to Alexis Lorelai, because that's going to be the name that I want people to know me as. Over there, I'm going to tell you how many followers I have. Let me grab my phone here. Okay, so over there on my Cheer Nerd channel, I have 412 followers. I've actually been doing it for close to 5 years now. In August, I will have done it for 5 years, which is absolutely crazy. And I actually originally started that channel because, I absolutely love Jess Fam. If you don't know who Jess Fam is, she's basically a blended family vlogger. I actually, in the very beginning of watching her, I only watched her Disney content, and I loved her Disney stuff and all that stuff. And then I kind of figured out that her oldest daughter, Lilia, is basically around the same age I am. She's just a year younger than me. So I just kind of started watching her daily videos just to get updated and just kind of go I went through that, or this is going, whatever. And I really just look at the kids. But I do have to say, she's one of my comfort YouTubers. If I had a bad day, she'll be on. And I do have to say, this is going to be really sappy, really just cringy, that, I don't know. It's going to be really cringy, okay? But I've always had this thing that if I was going to meet her, which I would hope to be at Disneyland, would be for me to meet her, I would basically sit there and say these things and go oh yeah, you really helped me. Back in 5th grade, it was a very tough time for me. That's when I broke, because a lot of really trauma things were happening to me at school, and how the schools and adult let what happened to me fly was kind of disgusting. But I kind of broke. I kind of gave up. I just kind of was was done with it. So Jess Fam actually really helped me get through that tough time, because her videos were always positive, always, she was never negative. She never really complained. Yeah, she got angry. Yeah, she got mad at the pandemic, because she was just I think she was I don't know. But at the end of the day, she was very, very, she's so positive and so whatever. She's never negative. She never complains. It's just, she's so positive, and that's what helped me get through in her videos. Again, if I have a bad day, or even then, she's always on. So there's that. And that's kind of why I started it, because I would actually pretend to vlog. And I think one day I was like, Dad, I really want to start this. He let me start it. And then that's when Cheer Nerd happened. Again, it was called Cheer Nerd. I also was a cheerleader. So that's another fun fact. I did cheer for a while. I was really considering doing cheer when I was in high school, but then I, did basketball, loved basketball, and then now I play heavy contact sports. So basketball and lacrosse. Those are the 2 sports that I play. Okay, so then my other YouTube channel is, of course, my podcast channel. I've been looking at things, trying to get my podcast channel up onto Apple, and then I think Amazon. I've been trying to get my podcast. We're going to try to get our podcast up there. So if you want to go watch those and listen to those, you guys definitely, hopefully can hear a little soon, or than later, probably in a couple episodes, Anyway, so that's that. And then I have 4 Instagrams. One Instagram is my main, which is basically Alexis Lorelai. What it is it's it's everything. There are a couple series called Perfumes of the Week. I used to do on my stories, I used to do Perfume of the Day. Now I do Perfume of the Week. I actually love perfumes a lot. Perfumes are one of my favorite things. I absolutely love perfumes. I love perfumes. I have 65 perfumes. And then I also do Fancy Perfume Friday. I do a couple. I mean, honestly, there's just so much things on here. Unboxing. Just honestly, just go follow Alexis Lorelai if you love all things. Especially, there's a lot of NFL content. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. There's also just it's just kind of me, my life, and all that stuff. So that's the goal. Also on there, I have right now 64 followers, but the goal is by March 23rd to get 300 followers so I can get a Khloe Kardashian perfume, the XO one. She has two. It's always and forever. I have that one. Absolutely smells good. I like that. Needs to be, Khloe, can you please make that into like a fragrance, like a Febreze bottle, because I would absolutely buy that. And then her XO one is XO one, which I also had the small one of it. I ran out, so now I want the big one. Okay, and then I have a Bookstagram. I do read. The Bookstagram is A Lorelai Reads. A Lorelai Reads. It has 208 followers. So there's a little bit more. And on there is just like basically books, me reading, basically what I read that week. It's just, all reading book related stuff on there. And then my cat has one. I have a cat named Crookshanks. I absolutely love cats. My favorite animal is cats. I don't like dogs. Dogs scare me. The little fun fact, dogs really scare me. But anyway, I have a cat, and my cat has an Instagram. It's called Crookshanks. That's basically his name. And then it's just basically little fun videos on there. And then I also have a Instagram for the podcast. So make sure you go over there so you can follow along and get maybe short little clips, trailers, and just maybe behind the scene content. And then I also have a TikTok called Alexis Lorelai. So make sure you go over there. It's basically a combination of my main Instagram and my Bookstagram. So just go over there. And I have 4 followers over there. So those are my, social media platforms you can find me other than here. So then just like a little fun fact. So yes, I actually did cheer for a little bit. I was a cheerleader. And then after the pandemic, so I was a cheerleader and dancer before the pandemic. And then after, I became a basketball player and a lacrosse player. Well, okay. Here are all the sports I did. Let's just talk about every single sport that I played or did, or just some sort of activity I did. So first off, I was a dancer. Then I was a cheerleader, then I was a basketball player, then I was a volleyball player, then I played lacrosse. So I played 5 sports, and I also did a little bit of soccer. I think I did like 1 year of soccer, and then that was it. And I think that's really it for my sports kind of activities and things like that. Let's see what else. I do love football. I love the NFL. NFL is I love the NFL season. I'm sad that it's over. I root for the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm going to say it. The Dallas Cowboys are winning the Super Bowl. Dallas Cowboys are winning 61 Super Bowl. After 31 years, we're going to win Super Bowl 61. I'm just going to say it. I love the Dallas Cowboys, and how I fell in love with the Dallas Cowboys was over the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, the DCC, making the team on CMT reality show. So it was before the pandemic, but on the pandemic, I watched too much of Dance Moms. So then the algorithm was like, okay, here you like Dance Moms, so here is this. The majority of it was the office scenes of people getting cut or people not. And then I started watching the dancing and then the training camp and all that stuff. And then I started liking it and I started watching the show. And then I realized that they actually cheered for a real NFL team. And then that's basically when that season of NFL, I watched the football, and then that's when I loved football. So I do football, and I do love sports, even though my dad says no. I love sports in a way that I love watching them, and I like playing them, but I like watching them a little bit more. So there's that. Let's see. What else? Fun facts. I do love perfumes. I do collect a lot of things. I have a really big Funko Pop collection. I have a really big comic book collection. So here's the thing. I'm a nerd in some sort of way, but I'm also really big of a girly girl, like a girly too. Girly pop, girly girl, whatever. So it's basically kind of both, but I do love collecting Funko Pops. I do love watching horror movies. I love horror movies. My favorite horror movie is It. I absolutely love it so much. That's just one of my favorites. I thought that I was being sneaky in the beginning of watching it because I watched the 1991, and I thought I was being sneaky in basically watching it, but my dad knew about it and he didn't care. And the reason why I didn't care is because I didn't come in waking him up. So there's that. I was scared of drains for a while after. Yeah. There's, that I was a little scared of drains because there's a scene in that where Pennywise comes up and moves a drain. Over the summer, actually, I watched so much of it that my sister and my mom got really annoyed because that was all it was on and I wanted to watch it. So there's that. Now let's talk about goals I have for my, okay. I also really love heels. I'm obsessed with heels. I do really want to get boot heels. That's one thing I would love to get, especially ones from 2016, because I absolutely love those heels. So hopefully we can get those. I also would love the, I think is the Saint Laurent ones. I would love to get the Saint Laurent heels. And you know what? I love any heel. Like, I love heels so much. Okay, but now let's talk about goals that I have. So one of my big goals is, again, to become a billionaire and famous. How to get there is, hopefully, from the famous side, is to, first off, yeah, become a influencer. Also have a reality show. Also, hopefully get into some movies for Hollywood or TV shows or whatever. I do have to say, though, one of my favorite books is If He Had Been With Me. So, if anyone in Hollywood is thinking about adapting that show into any sort of movie or any sort of show, I can gladly play any character. Autumn, Sylvie, anyone. I would love to play any character from that. So, I'll try to figure out a way that you guys can contact me. Okay, but there's all that stuff. Okay. And then for the billionaire side, I hope to start a business. Business would be, hopefully, honestly, I just hope to start a business. Hopefully have a perfume line. Hopefully to create maybe a shoe brand. Hopefully I can just, just do so much that I hope I can do a lot of things. That's, again, one of the big goals. Another big goal I have, and this is also basically just things I also hope to get myself as well. So one of my big goals is also to get a car. My dream car is a Range Rover. I want a Range Rover, so hopefully I can get myself a Range Rover. Now, I really also do hope that sometime I can get enough money, or just to kind of help maybe buy myself a car so that I can drive myself to school, or maybe even before I go to college. That's like a real big goal of mine, is to hopefully get a car before I go off to college. So there's, that things. Let's see, I have like so many goals that it's like kind of ridiculous. Oh, another big goal. So this is like a goal for like the year. One of my goals for the year is on one platform, on one of my platforms, either my YouTube, this YouTube, just one platform, to hit 1,000 subscribers or followers before 2027. So I hope we can do that. I really hope we can really, really do that. And I don't know, I'm going to say this right now, and this might be very, I don't know, but for these past couple of days, I have felt like I am going to get hopefully good news. Like, I feel like my life is going to change in the near future. I don't know when it is. I don't know if it's going to be in a couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of months, but hopefully feel like in the near future my life will change to not my dream life, but to that middle life before I get to my dream life. My dream life is, so basically, my dream life is, of course, to be rich, famous, and just be able to have freedom, financial freedom for, my dream life is oh my gosh, to work, to just never to have a break, never know how to stop. That is definitely something. It's like never, just not to know how to stop. That is just something I really would love to do. Anyway, so that's like, a big goal, but that's like, again, that's just like what I'm feeling right now is there. I also really have a goal that hopefully by 30, I'm living in my dream house, and my dream house is like a mansion, and the mansion would be so crazy. So here is the dream house. Here is the goal house. Here is just the house I want. So the thing is originally I wanted this in California, but now I really don't know where I would put it, because I live in a snowy state and I love the snow, but I don't know where I really truly want to live yet. I want to go to California because that is where all of that's just where all most of my opportunities are going to come from and stem from, is of course that. But I also do have to, from California. But I also would like to I would also maybe one day like to live in New York. That would definitely be maybe one thing we could do. I don't know. I honestly, I have no idea, but we'll see. maybe hopefully, I really do hope to one day call California my home. That is a real big goal, and I've always wanted to call California my home, and then maybe also have like several homes and vacations, or maybe even that, go to London. Maybe I'll go to London when I'm younger. I don't know. We'll see. But again, like I said, that's just something there. But my dream house is to hopefully have that built and just whatever by the time, and just have a sanctuary by the time I'm 30. Or just live my own little world like billionaires do. Because it is really funny because you can see the houses of a millionaire and houses of a billionaire. Houses of a billionaire, it's basically their own little world, their own little like section. And then houses of a millionaire is like kind of a real big modern house, if that makes sense. But basically my dream house is to have like 3 stories. And then, okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have like when you walk in, you have like a spiral staircase that goes like from this end to that, and then you have like a big balcony, and then you'll have like a walkway, the kitchen kind of over here, their garage, and then you have like the dining room, and then over there you'll have the living room. And then you go upstairs, this floor, the like second floor, will have a what's it called, a library. And then just have several rooms that I can put my comics, my collectibles in, and just like things like that. And then hopefully in my closet, I can have a perfume closet. I want a perfume closet so bad. And then a heel closet. I think that'd be so cool because again, I love heels. And I love heels so much. I've always did. I always will. Like I always wore heels when I was younger. I stopped, but I'd like to like start actually wearing heels again and again because I also did realize when I was wearing heels, I was really, really confident. Like, even if I were, because I remember I'd wear heels to like when we have like the special things at school, or like when we would have to go to school for something, like to move in or whatever, I just wore heels. And I loved it because I loved heels. I love wearing heels. And I think wearing heels is so fun. Another big goal of mine is to take trips by myself. That is one thing I really want to do is, well, first off, to live by myself at some point in my life and to take trips by myself. I think that would just be so cool. And hopefully maybe there'll be like good trips too, like maybe to London and to Disneyland. That'd be cool. And maybe go to Disneyland by myself. I do love Disney, by the way. I really, really do love Disney. I am definitely maybe a Disney teenager, will be a Disney adult. I love Disney, just the feel it gives, especially Disneyland. Because Disneyland has this feel like when you walk into it, like no matter what's going on in your life, you can just basically go there and just nothing else think. Like you just like you can go there and you don't worry about anything else in life. Like you don't worry. It's just I love Disneyland so much. But that's like just travel somewhere and stuff like that. I don't really know. Like I just have so many goals, so they're just like not really coming to me right now. Okay, but let's talk about another thing. All right, so let's talk about some weirdish fun facts, not even weird fun facts about me. Okay, well, number one weird fun fact is when I was younger, I was heavily obsessed with WWE, and that's basically all I watched was WWE, Total Divas, the Ride Along, Total Bellas. Absolutely loved it. And that was one of my biggest goals, was to be a WWE wrestler. Now, I would become a WWE wrestler if that would be a good thing for me. So there's that. I also would hope to, another goal of mine is to learn about how to use AI and how to use it to where I can create something from it, create a business from it. I think that'd be really great to like help use AI in a business because it's definitely, the teachers and other adults will say not, but it is actually, AI is a really great tool to use, especially if you use it to help better your understanding in some sort of way. Actually, I do use ChatGPT for a lot of kind of just things in clarity and how to level up and whatever. I also know the big goal is to put myself into rooms that I'm uncomfortable in and just basically put myself into areas like network and just go to different places and just go and just be around the rich. That is for sure something that I would hope to do, and just like kind of help network and just try to help and also find a mentor. I really want to, I don't know who, but I need to find a mentor, especially when I go off to college, because that's the thing is I want to go to college, but I also like to find a mentor because in college I'd really like to truly start doing what I want to do. And it just whatever, and it is just so interesting how, I've wanted this forever. I've always wanted the fame, ability, just like not a normal life. And you know, a little fun fact is that is why almost every single one of my elementary school teachers hated me. My elementary school teachers hated me because they would ask this one question, and that was, what do you want to be when you grow up? I always said billionaire and famous. It's basically always what I said. I think when I got older, I was like, okay, fine, I'll be like a teacher or whatever, just to like kind of, because it's kind of like done dealing with it. But I always wanted to become a billionaire and famous. It was what? Now, they did tell me it was unrealistic, and I told them it's not for me, that to me, it's not unrealistic, because here's the thing. God wouldn't have put it in my head if he didn't know that I could achieve it. So whatever God put in your head, whatever you are so passionate about, whatever you're thinking about that you cannot go to sleep on, that is what God put in your head because he knew that you could achieve it. So make sure that you go ahead and follow that. And also really do think about that. Anyway, that is going to be it for episode 2 of the Luxury Lounge. Yes, the Luxury Lounge isn't that luxurious. Hopefully we can. I was looking at Target. This might be a little stupid right now to buy, but I was looking at Target. Like, you know, those like cushion sets from that they had at Target, and like also like there was like another place, I think it was like Home Goods. They were actually really pretty cheap, expensive. Those were really expensive. Or like just maybe like a nice little like couch that's like really, really, I don't know. Hopefully we can level up and get this to be an actual lounge. But that is it for the Luxury Lounge podcast episode 2. My 3 goals for this next upcoming week is to stop doom scrolling. That is a big thing. I doom scroll all the time. It is very, very bad. It's just very I wish to not doom scroll. And again, another one is to continue being consistent and putting up a video every single day. That is just a goal. I just hopefully to do that, and hopefully to pre-film, pre-think, whatever. And then also like with that also kind of maybe do a little bit more vlogs and maybe just kind of like, you know, start thinking. And then my third one, my third big goal for this week is one of the same things as last week thing, is to clean and just kind of get my room and area clean. So I'll see you guys later on in the week, and hopefully I can get this episode or some of these episodes onto Apple Podcasts and Amazon. I know Spotify's a little harder to get on, so I don't think I'll go onto Spotify, but hopefully Apple and Amazon. But if not, I'll let you guys know. So I hope you guys have a good night, good day, wherever you are. And let's see. How will I want to end these episodes? Let's see. How did I end it last week? How did I end it this last week? Okay, so basically how I ended it was stay tuned. So yes, stay tuned for episode 3, which is going to be coming out hopefully later on in this week. But yeah. Let's see. What could be a great outro for this? I hope you guys... we're just gonna say bye. So basically the outro, I need to think about that. I really do need to start thinking about that. I don't know. Does anyone have any good outro ideas maybe to do? Maybe just like outro things I could say? Because I'm really trying to think here. What could I say that's a little bit, just whatever. Anyway. Good time staying with us. Hope you guys had a good time. That just sounds so weird. Okay, relaxing time over. Now let's go to work. Just kidding. That sounds really, really mean. That just sounds really mean. So something with lounge. So like luxury lounge. Now go and enjoy your luxurious life. Okay, that is it for episode 2 of Luxury Lounge podcast. Now go out and enjoy your luxurious life. That's it. Now go out and enjoy your luxurious life. That is not good. That's just not good at all.